Hello, welcome to my channel StuckFiles. Today we will discuss about why it sucks to be a linebacker in a pass-heavy league. There was a time when linebackers were the kings of the defense. They controlled the middle of the field. They stuffed the run. They delivered bone-crushing hits that echoed through the stadium. They were the heart and soul of every dominant defense. But the game has changed. Welcome to the era of pass-heavy football, where quarterbacks sling the ball 50 times a game, where tight ends run 4.5 40 times, where slot receivers cut like blades through zone coverage. And you're the linebacker, still expected to be the enforcer, still expected to stop the run. But now you're also expected to cover slot receivers, shadow tight ends, spy the quarterback, blitz off the edge, drop into coverage, and never, ever make a mistake. Because if you do, it's 6 points, and it's your face on the highlight reel. Not the quarterbacks, not the receivers, yours. In today's NFL, and in college, and even high school, the rules, the schemes, and the trends are stacked against linebackers. You're too slow to cover, too small to plug the A-gap, too big to keep up with backs in motion, too important to take off the field. You're constantly outnumbered, constantly out-leveraged, and always the first blamed when a coverage breaks. This is the evolution of football, and linebackers, they become the scapegoats of the new game. In this video, we're breaking it all down. The middle grind, the impossible matchups, the shifting expectations, and the slow, painful erosion of what used to be the most feared position on the field. This is not a position for the weak. It's not a job for someone who wants glory. It's a role built on chaos, thanklessness, and failure. Because in a league obsessed with passing, you're a run stopper asked to play chess on roller skates. Let's talk about why it absolutely sucks to be a linebacker in today's pass-heavy league. Section 1. You're built to smash, but forced to cover. At your core, you're a hunter. Linebackers are bred to hit, to plug holes, to chase down running backs, and make plays behind the line of scrimmage. That's what you trained for. That's what you lived for. And now, you're being asked to backpedal, to mirror slot receivers, to carry verticals up the seam. It's like training your whole life to be a lion, and then being dropped into a jungle full of birds. You're still a predator, but the game has gone aerial, and your claws can't reach them. You didn't get in a football to run with 4.3 speed backs in man coverage, but that's what the game demands now. You didn't sign up to defend the RPO every play, second guessing whether it's a run or a slant, but that's your life now. The offensive coordinators love this. They see you in space, and they salivate. Because no matter how hard you train, you're not built for this era. Your instincts say attack downhill. Your assignments say drop 12 yards in a zone and pass off the crossing route. You're playing against physics, against evolution, against your own design. And when you get beat, which you will, it's not a coaching failure. It's not a mismatch. It's bad linebacker play. Even though the guy who just burned you ran a 4.340 and gets paid $15 million a year. You're asked to cover Travis Kelce, to spy Lamar Jackson, to fill the B gap against Derrick Henry, all in the same quarter. That's not football. That's cruel. And no one thanks you. No one notices when you're 2 steps ahead and take away the slant. But if you're 1 step behind, they notice that. Every time, the tape becomes your enemy. It doesn't show your effort, just your hesitation, just your failure to cover a guy who's literally built for track and field. And let's not forget the worst part. You can do your job perfectly and still lose. You can fill the hole, wrap up the back, and get flagged for unnecessary roughness. Because in today's game, big hits aren't celebrated. They're penalized. So you're not just fighting schemes. You're fighting flags. You're fighting physics. You're fighting evolution, and it's a losing battle. Section 2. You're the target, every play. Offensive coordinators love one thing above all, finding a mismatch. And guess what? In today's game, the linebacker is the mismatch. They motion the slot receiver. They send a tight and wide. They watch you shift. They smile because they know exactly what's coming. They know how to isolate you. They know how to make you look slow, confused, and out of position. And the worst part? You know it too. You watch them line up in trips. You know the rub route is coming. You know the pick play is designed to catch you in traffic. But you still have to run through it and somehow make the stop. You're the chess piece they manipulate. The one they send into coverage, then immediately exploit. Every RPO is designed to freeze you. Every play action tempts you to bite. Every motion is meant to distract you. And it works because you can't be right every time. You take one false step, it's a 20-yard gain. You hesitate half a second, it's a touchdown. And what do they say after the game? Linebackers didn't show up. As if you weren't chasing ghosts all night. You're covering grass more than players. You're stuck between trusting your instinct and following your keys. And when you choose wrong, it's not the scheme's fault that it's yours. They target you on every drive. They motion the running back out wide. Now it's just you and him in space. Good luck. Or worse, they flood your zone. 3 receivers, 1 linebacker. Do the math. You're blamed for everything, even when the system sets you up to fail. And still, you fight every snap, every read, every audacious expectation. Because that's your job, to be the guy no one notices until you mess up. Section 3. You never get a break, but always get the blame. You play every snap. First down, second down, third down. You don't rotate like edge rushers. You don't sub out like slot corners. You're the Iron Man of the defense. But nobody cares. You're expected to be perfect on every down. Because if you're on the field, you're fair game. You plug the run. You chase screens. You drop in a zone. You blitz on third and long. You're everywhere. But it's never enough. You stop the run? Great. Now they spread you out and test your hips in space. You stay in coverage? Cool. Now here comes the draw, and you're late to fill. No matter what you do, it's the wrong choice to someone. You're too aggressive. You're too passive. You're not reading the QB. You're not playing the run. You're not fast enough. You're not big enough. You're not enough. That's the message. Week after week, game after game. And you feel it in the film room. In the press conferences that I end the locker room whispers. Even when the scheme breaks down, it falls on your shoulders. Missed assignments in the secondary? Linebacker should have helped. Big run play on the edge? Linebacker didn't scrape fast enough. Quarterback breaks the pocket? Where was the spy? You become the default answer for every defensive failure because you're always on the field. And if you're always there, you must be the problem. There's no room for error, but no reward for excellence. You can rack up 12 tackles, a sack, and a pass deflection. But if you miss one open field tackle in the fourth quarter, that's the headline. They don't care that your legs are dead, that you've been banging bodies for 55 plays straight, that the offense has motioned you line to sideline every series. They don't care because you're the linebacker. You're supposed to handle everything, but that everything is killing your body. You're taking on guards twice your size, chasing wide receivers half your size, living in a constant state of contact without the glory. You don't lead the league in sacks. You don't get pick sixes. You don't have highlight reels. You're the engine, and nobody makes commercials for the engine. They sell the speed, the flash, the finish. You're just the one making sure the wheels don't fall off. And still, no praise. Just pressure. Just criticism. Just more expectations. It's a cycle, one that never stops. You don't get a break, but you always get the blame. And the worst part? You start believing it. You start questioning your instincts. You hesitate. You overthink. You lose that split-second edge, and that's all it takes. Because this game is fast, and the moment you doubt yourself, you're toast. They score. You walk back to the sideline, and everyone's eyes land on you. Again, Section 4. The game isn't built for you anymore. The league is evolving, and not in your favor. Once upon a time, linebackers ruled the defense. They set the tone. They called the shots. They laid the hits that echoed through stadiums. But not anymore. Now the rules are tailored for quarterbacks, for receivers, for explosive plays, for fantasy football. You can't hit high. You can't hit low. You can't even land your weight on a quarterback. You're supposed to play at full speed, but stop yourself midair. Like that's humanly possible. Everything about modern football is designed to make you fail. The RPOs, the hurry-up offenses, the formations that force you into space. You're not just playing defense. You're surviving a rigged system. A system where a 240-pound linebacker is expected to mirror a 190-pound slot receiver with 4.3 speed. And if you grab a jersey to slow him down, flag. If you bump a guy too early, flag. If you play too soft and give up the slant, blame. You can't win. You're stuck between eras. Too big for today's speed game. Too small to dominate like the old school enforcers. You're a prototype that the league is phasing out. Defensive coordinators want hybrid defenders. Guys who can play safety and linebacker. Guys who can cover and tackle. Basically unicorns. And if you're not one, you're replaceable. You're not just battling offenses now. You're battling extinction. Because the league doesn't protect you. It doesn't feature you. It barely needs you. And every year, it shows. More nickel packages. More dime coverage. Fewer snaps for linebackers. You watch your position shrink, literally and figuratively. And it hurts. Because this was your dream. Your identity. But now you're just an other tweener trying to stay relevant in a game that moved on without you. Section 5. You're built to lead, but set up to lose. You were born to lead. That's the role of a linebacker. The heart of the defense. The quarterback of the other side. You make the calls. You read the formation. You shift the line. You bark orders because everyone looks to you. But when the game kicks off, you're often powerless. You're reacting, not dictating. You're chasing, not attacking. You're trying to hold together a unit that's already outnumbered and outpaced. You didn't choose to be outmatched. The game made it that way. Every play is a trap. Every motion a puzzle. Every assignment a setup. You know what the team needs. You just don't always have the tools to deliver. And that's the most painful part. You're not failing because you're unprepared. You're failing because the game changed and no one gave you time to adapt. You're expected to lead with fire, but you're put in situations designed for you to burn. You were taught to fill gaps. Now they want you in coverage. You were trained to crush backs. Now you're chasing tight, ends up the seam. You were raised on instinct. Now the game punishes every move you make. Still, you show up. You grind. You study tape at midnight. You hit the sled at sunrise. You take the blame. You absorb the criticism. You are the bruises no one sees. Because that's what linebackers do. Even in a league that's leaving them behind, they fight to stay in it. As we deeply discussed everything in all 5 sections, so now you know being a linebacker used to mean something. It meant fear. It meant toughness. It meant control. You were the wall that offenses ran into. The brain behind every snap. The fire in the heart of the defense. Now, you're the sacrificial piece. A relic in a league obsessed with passing, spacing, and speed. You were built to lead warriors. Now you're chasing slot receivers. You trained for war, but they handed you a rule book that favors the enemy. Every hit you deliver is reviewed. Every tackle you make is questioned. Every step you take is a gamble between stopping the play and drawing a flag. And through all of that, you're still the glue. You're still the one holding the defense together. Still the one calling audibles. Still the one putting your body on the line every single snap. You don't get rest. You don't get praise. You don't get the headlines. But when things go wrong, you get the blame. And even then, you keep showing up. Because you love this game. Because you believe in the fight. Because deep down, you know what linebackers really are. Not forgotten. Not outdated. But necessary. Even in a league trying to phase you out, you matter. Because when the chips are down and someone needs to step up, it's still the linebacker who delivers the hit that changes everything. You don't play for stats. You don't play for clout. You play for impact, for grit, for the grind. And that's something the league can't measure, but every team still needs. So here's to the linebackers. The ones fighting for space in a game that no longer favors them. The ones who lead from the middle, who take the hits, who make the stops, who never stop running, even when the rules do. You may not be the face of the league, but you're still its backbone, and no pass-heavy era can take that away.